Guys, we're gonna do some baby back ribs on the Char-Griller Grand Champ offset coming up. Early on a Southern California morning, and we're gonna fire up this pit. We're gonna make some baby back rib. I'm gonna show you how I do them on my offset smoker. We're gonna use a little bit of Applewood in there, Applewood Spritz. All right, we're gonna use some lump charcoal. I feel like with this pit, it needs the lump charcoal in there to keep it going. The firebox ain't that big, and it's just a little more efficient for me to use some lump and then just give it good smoke throughout the cook. All right, I am not gonna wrap these ribs. I know you guys are all familiar with the 3-2-1 method for ribs, but for me, I'm really enjoying the no wrap ribs lately and just getting it up to temperature and tenderness just with a long, slow smoke. We're gonna keep the pit about 250. It may fluctuate one way or another, but that's what my goal is, 250. This will probably take about 4 or 5 hours to cook to where I want them to be. And then that last, probably half hour or so to cook, I'm gonna glaze them down with this KosmoQ original competition. I'm repping Team Cosmo today. All right, let's get over here and start prepping these ribs. I have 4 racks of baby back rib. We're gonna take the membranes off. We're gonna season them up, all that good stuff. All right, come on back. All right, team, we are over on my prep station over here. Before we get that pit lit up and get that smoke rolling, to get these ribs trimmed up and get my rub on them. Look, there's many ways to pull off your membrane. I highly suggest you do it. Some people like to score it, some people leave it on, but for me it doesn't really render, and it doesn't taste all that great, so I think I'd rather just use my butter knife. We'll work it underneath one of these bones right here. Just get your finger underneath it, help guide it along. Little paper towel, work it under. The paper towel helps you grip the membrane, and then you get to just pull it off. Ta-da, ta-da. All right, so to me, it's leather. It's not get eaten, especially with the smoke we're gonna do on this. So the next thing we're gonna do is, you can see this is all kind of jacked up over here. So what I'm gonna do is come in, probably about this bone right here, the second bone in, and just trim along the side of the bone. See, there's a little bit of meat, but it's bone. We'll cook this too and just munch on it as we go. It'll cook so much quicker. You can see on the end right here, there's a broken bone, right? Obviously not good eating. And then there's no meat next to it. So I'm gonna come in one bone right here and cut it off so we get, the maximum meat in there. So you got a little bit of sinew, kind of not goodness in there. All right, there's nothing really to trim on the top right here. Pulled off that membrane, not so much fat, got a little shiner here, not a big deal, but yeah, looks pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and trim up the rest of these. If you need to see that, just rewind this one and watch it over again. Come on back. All right, guys, here's a little something I like to do to get these things rolling. I use a big sheet tray, little disposable sheet tray. Makes it a lot easier to get the binder on, get the rubs on, and no muss, no fuss thing going on. All right, so I'm gonna pull this glove off. So I got my clean hand, got my dirty hand. Right, first thing we're gonna do is put a binder on it. Okay, I'm using soy sauce. All right, I like the flavor, the umami vibe to it. Of course, it's a California thing, I guess. I'm sure someone's gonna comment about that, but we need a good binder on here, so we're just gonna put a little soy sauce on. Okay, you don't have to get crazy with it. Just a couple little dab will do you. All right, now that we got that binder on, I have 3 different Cosmo rubs here. We got some hot dirty bird, honey chipotle killer bee, so it's gonna give a little extra heat on this bad boy, and then just some regular honey killer bee. All right, so here's my plan. We're doing honey chipotle killer bee on all sides. All right, and then we're gonna add just to the bottom a little of the hot dirty bird. All right, just get a little, so when you take that bite, it gets right on your palate. A little that's a little spice, a little heat. All right, and then we're just gonna kind of finish it with the honey killer bee on top. All right, so you get the little heat from the bottom, sweet from the top, plus the barbecue sauce. All this stuff goes really well together, trust me on this one. All right, so let's get this first one. Where's it at? Here we go. Honey chipotle killer bee. All right, just on top. I don't want to over season these. I want to make sure that that the smoke is able to penetrate, get that good flavor on there. Just kind of do it like assembly line system right here. Let's get them all. Don't forget, you pat your rubs on. You do not rub your rubs. Yeah, you don't rub your rubs. You don't want that when you rub the seasoning on, or you think you're rubbing it on, or just really rubbing it off actually. So you see with this big tinfoil sheet pan here, you're not making a mess with your rubs. Those are looking good. Next thing we're gonna do is turn them all over. And again, we're gonna hit the bottom with the hot dirty bird. All right, so just the bottom, just a little light coat. And some's gonna get on top of your other ones, but that's fine. The main goal is just to season the bottom of them. It's just enough in there that's gonna get your people who are trying it going like, I wonder what that is. I got a sweet rib, but I got a little heat on that bad boy too. And for those who've been watching my channel for a long time, they know I like a lot of sweet heat. You know, it's kind of my favorite thing about barbecue is sweet heat, wings, pulled pork, ribs, all that stuff. All right, so we're turning them back over. Use that honey killer bee on top now. Again, just a light coat. We're gonna let these have plenty of time to marinate. We're gonna make sure that pit is humming along nice and good. We're not rushing anything today. All right, looking good, looking good. All right, fam, we're gonna let these chill out for a little bit, come together, sweat out a little bit of that moisture, pulling a little bit of that, the sweet and the salty and the heat and all that, pull it back in the meat. We got time to go set up the pit. Let's head over there right now. All right, guys. This is one of my favorite parts about lighting the grill. Gonna get a little gas in there, get a little fire, get a lot of fire. All right, let's light up this charcoal. It's fired up, baby, fired up. Charcoal's lit. We got a couple little splits of Applewood we're gonna put in, and we're gonna let that catch. Let the good blue smoke start rolling, and then we'll get our ribs on. Y'all, the smoke's rolling nice and clean. It's about time to get these ribs on this pit. The smell of that Applewood burning right now is killer. Can't wait to try these bad boys. We're gonna get them on. We're gonna let them go for about an hour. We'll check them out. We're gonna do a spritz on them, and the spritz we're gonna use is an apple cider vinegar dilution with a little bit of water. Just gonna keep it nice and moist, keep it going real slow. We got the pit going about 250 right now. All right, let's get these ribs on. Pull the rack out. We're just gonna kind of center them right here, and then we'll, adjust end to end if we need to. You can see they've gotten nice and moist. A lot of sweat going on these from sitting. Looking good. I'm gonna give these a nice smoke bath. Come on back. All right, guys, we're an hour in. Time to take a look. Looking good, got a nice color going. So I got half apple cider vinegar and half water in here. Come on, we can do it. There we go. Gonna give these a good spritz. There we go. Since we're not wrapping these, we want to do our best to keep them nice and moist. We still got hours to go, but these are looking pretty good. 2 hours in. I've been spritzing every 15, 20 minutes. Try to keep these as moist as possible. I've already rotated, moved this, like this one was the starting one. I started moving them around. I rotated them, turned them around. And keep them moist. I pulled the temperature on them and they're about 140, 145. Nothing crazy. Looking good, looking good. Right on track. We're gonna do these as low and slow as possible. The temp's keeping at about 250, give or take. But it's looking good, looking real good. All right, team, how we looking? They're temping out about 180. So we're gonna go another about 10, 15 degrees. And then we'll lather them up with that good KosmoQ competition barbecue sauce. And we'll get them in the house, chop them up. We've been going about 4 hours. These are going in like butter. Great tenderness. We're not gonna have them like falling off the bone, braised like you're used to, but still. So what we're gonna do now is add the little barbecue sauce, little glaze on there, and then let it just have another half hour or so and let it set up in there. And just do a little bit. You know, we've said it before, I'm not a saucy kind of guy, so I don't use a lot of sauce. Just doing enough to give it that sweet flavor. and give it that shine. And I don't want the brush marks on there, so I'm gonna kind of pat it on. It'll kind of distort the brush marks. Maybe add a little bit more sauce. I want these bad boys looking pretty. I'm gonna give these another half hour or so. Let it get set, and bring them in, chop them up. All right, guys, we are done. Check out this mahogany color. Look at that. KosmoQ's stuff never lets me down. Let's get this thing chopped up, all right? We'll see how they look on the inside. Come here, find the bone. We'll check it out. It's nice and juicy. Nice smoke ring right there. Let's take a bite, make sure it's perfect. Look at that. Bite through, clean as a whistle. Tender but not fall apart. Exactly what I was going for. Guys, this is money in the bank. It's so good. So that's it for this one. Hope you all have a wonderful week. Thanks for stopping by.